Hello, and welcome to CS432. So I'm Mike Lamb, and I am the instructor for this course. So the course is about compilers, and a compiler is a computer program that automatically translates other programs from one language to another. So hopefully you've encountered compilers before in your computer science classes. And so what we're going to do this semester is we're going to learn how this works. To me, this is fascinating because it means that we are writing a program that analyzes other programs and actually produces a computer program as an output. So I think I think compilers are particularly fascinating things to study. So this is our definition, our working definition of a compiler. Usually the translation is happening from a human-readable language to a machine-executable language, but that's not necessarily the case. It's just the case that there has to be some sort of automatic translation happening. And this is opposed to an interpreter, right? So in 261, we study the difference between a compiler and an interpreter. So the compiler produces a program as output, whereas an interpreter runs the program and produces the results of the program as the output. So we should think for a moment perhaps about why we would want to study compilers besides getting your advanced systems elective credit. So there are a lot of reasons why you'd want to study compilers, but for me, one of the greatest reasons is just that compilers is what we would call a convergent topic. So a lot of courses are divergent, like 240, where you learn asymptotic analysis at the very beginning of the semester, and then you spend the rest of the semester exercising that topic in a lot of different areas of data structures. This course is going to be a convergent topic. So we're going to draw from a lot of different areas of computer science, and we're going to pick and pull out pieces that we're going to use in order to build one big software project, the compiler. So we're actually going to pull from many courses, some of which you've taken before, some of which you may not have taken. So we're going to use data structures, some of the ones you learned about in 240. We're going to examine we're going to have to use architectures and machine languages and operating systems, which you encountered already in 261 and may have seen more of in 450 if you've taken that. We're going to study automata and language theory. So if you've taken the 430 class, you'll have a leg up when we get to those topics. And then we'll be looking at some graph algorithms, which you may have seen in 327. We will be touching on a lot of software and systems engineering topics, which you hopefully have seen in 345 and 361. And we will also be examining a couple of algorithms that fit the kind of paradigms that you've studied if you've taken CS452. So there are a lot of different pieces that we're pulling in, and I think that's really one of the most fascinating aspects of compilers because it shows how many areas of computer science can be combined to solve a truly hard problem. In other words, the problem of automated language translation. Another nice thing about studying compilers is that it's this really cool bridge of theory and implementation. So we're actually going to study a good bit of theory this semester, probably more than you'd study in some of the other advanced systems electives, but all of that theory is going to be directly applicable to some portion of our compiler project. So we're not going to study any theory simply for the goal of studying theory. We're going to study it all so that it can help us with the implementation of our compiler and the building of these software systems. And it's also going to give you some practical experience with a software system that may be a little bit larger than you've encountered in some of your other classes. So right now my master copy is over 4,000 lines of code, and this is excluding comments and white space and everything. And this is not a very large project with respect to the kinds that you'll work with once you graduate, but maybe it's a bit larger than some of the others that you've worked on in class before. Of this, you're going to rewrite around a quarter of it. The rest of it is just framework code that you're going to use. And so we'll need to address some software engineering concerns as we work with a project that is, non-trivial. Okay, so the fundamental question that we're trying to answer this semester is this: how do computers translate from a human-readable language to a machine-executable language? And this is really the take-home of the entire semester, is that when people wonder about this and you're there, I hope that your answer to this question is, oh wow, it's so cool, let me tell you.